Good morning. Welcome to Sunwing Airlines Operations Center here in Toronto, Pearson. I'm the captain today for your flight 410 down to Puerto Plata, from Toronto Pearson Airport to Puerto Plata, and the return 411 from Puerto Plata to Toronto. Joining me today is...
I'm First Officer Siobhan O'Hanlon, and I've been at Sunwing for about 2 years now. I'll be flying us down to Puerto Plata, and Rich will be flying us back.
Today it's a cool, clear December morning. Right now there shouldn't be de-icing, but we could have a possibility of frost on the airplane, so we'll find out when we get to the airplane. As of now, we're in Charlie Golf Kilo Victor uniform. It's a Boeing 737-800, just a few years old. Right now, it's a pretty nice day. We don't have any MELs or so on the aircraft. Okay, as of now, 4 hours and 8 minutes, initially 35,000 feet. We've got it, the dispatcher's given us an inland route. So normally we do these flights, we do a waters flight, which is over the ocean, a non-radar environment called the West Atlantic Track system. Right now, because of some thunderstorms over the ocean, we are doing an Atlantic route system, which will take us closer to the eastern shore, of the United States, and it'll be a radar all the way down. So it adds a little bit more time. So 4 hours and 8 minutes en route. We give them extra fuel for that weather and a bit of extra fuel for de-icing. As of now, the route is going to take us, if you see here, basically, we're going to take off from runway 248 towards the west. We'll turn west-south and then cross over just east of Cleveland. And then we'll go towards Washington, where we'll curve back in and then fly over the Atlantic Ocean there from Wilmington, North Carolina, basically in a straight line almost towards the north part of the Bahamas, where we'll cut over towards the Turks and Caicos and enter via the north into Santo Domingo's airspace straight into Puerto Plata, where right now the weather's supposed to be quite nice. The winds are supposed to be about 0 degrees to 10 knots, runway 08 there. Fairly clear skies and probably 28 degrees. It's really a pleasure having you. We'll look forward to you in the flight deck. I wish you a very pleasant flight.
See you on board.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the flight deck here in Gate Charlie 41 in Toronto. Siobhan and I just programmed our FMCs for the flight plan for 410 from Toronto to Puerto Plata, excuse me. As of now, we are still going to do some more checks. We'll show you what that's like. As of now, we still have about 45 minutes before departure. It's presently 5:30 in the morning, so we'll normally get a pre-departure clearance through air traffic control 30 minutes or less prior to departure. So we have another 15 minutes before that. We can get that, and we'll show you that in just a moment. As of now, I'm just going to be doing some of my checks, my responsibilities here. I'll be checking my oxygen masks, checking all my instruments to make sure that they're all correct, and displaying what I wanted to do, and all the switches. Siobhan, as the first officer now, her responsibility will be the overhead panel. She'll talk about it in just a moment. And all I'll do now, as I said, I'll just check my, what we call area responsibility on my side. As of now, when I check the oxygen, there's a gauge on the top of the panel there. I'm just making sure that there's no failure of the line. So we just hold the oxygen mask down, the test, and you hold it for at least 5 seconds to show and make sure that there's no depletion in the indication, in which case it's working perfectly fine. As of now, I just look, I make sure that UTC time is set. You can go to manual, but right now the UTC time is set at 10:31 Zulu. This is the EFIS control panel. I can put in airports, waypoints, VORs, position, terrain, and weather. As of now, all I have now is preliminary. Just eventually I'll set what's called a minimum flight protraction altitude, which is typically about 1,000 feet HL from the airport. Once we do put the numbers in our EFB, it'll compensate for the temperature today. It's presently -3. So as of now, I'm just making sure that, of course, my attitude indicator is indicating what it should. My headings are the same, about 295, 295. My RMI here and my standby is around the same as well. As of now, just the normal position for these things we can show you later in the air. It's just for switching our panels. I'm just making sure that isn't normal. I'll do this to make sure. This is the autopilot auto throttle and the FMC warning lights, and they're working normally. No other lights are lit. These positions are in normal, and then of course my altimeters are setting at 3003, which indicates 560 feet, which is correct for the elevation for Toronto Pearson Airport. Going down here, I don't have to check the FMC just yet. I did check the route, but there's more things to check later on. Little things that my rudder pedals for my height, my seat height are adjusted to the way I'd like to operate the aircraft. The other thing we'll start in the 737 is our company. We'll start it, make sure that it's at 5 degrees. Once we do get our numbers, we will reset the stabilizer. Thrusters are idle. Speed brake's down. Parking brake is set. It's indicating. We've got pressure indicating almost 3,000 psi there. That my engine start-offs are off. My stab trims are on in the normal position. The flaps are up. These are our fire handles. They're normal. And basically now I'll check. Right now 121.3 is our clearance delivery frequency, which we'll use in just a moment. Our nav radios. I'll make sure this is an ACP, an audio control panel. Right now I'm listening just for the folks on the ground in case they need to call the flight deck. So right now I'm listening to that. I can also listen to the P, make sure that Boeing is going on normally, and I can also listen right now to air traffic control. These are in normal position. This is ADF, obviously don't need it right now. Our third radio, this is the second or third radio, we've got on data, and that's basically for our 8-car system, so we'll pretty much leave it as it is. As well, transponder, there's no assignment yet, so we'll leave it. It's on number 2 since Siobhan will be flying this leg, and then our rudder trim is free right now, and then 0. And this is our aileron trim, which is showing 0 right now. There's a camera, I believe, on this aircraft as well. There we go. We can see different positions behind the flight deck for security, so that before we open our flight deck door, we do have confirmation that only a flight attendant, someone approved, is there before we unlock the door, and they can let them come in. We can let them in. As of now, folks, that's my responsibility, and then Siobhan will do hers. Probably the fuel receipt. Basically, most of us will just sign. Any one of us can sign it. We do confirm it. We asked for 14,000 kilos. We just have a little bit more. It's not too bad. So we have 14,100 kilos. That's confirmed. I signed for it. And I will check just a moment in the logbook that the numbers do match, that the amount of fuel that we have now makes sense compared to the amount of fuel that was in the tanks when the aircraft last flew. So now after I sign it, I can just give the receipt to the gentleman, and that'll be it for at least checking our fuel initially.
So I can talk a little bit about my flow. So when Captain Rich does his flow, I already got into the flight deck this morning, and I set up the FMC for our departure today. And once that's completed, then I go into my overhead panel scan, which I've already completed. So I'm just checking to make sure that all the switches are in the correct place and that there's no lights on indicating any malfunction or anything like that. Once that is done, similar to his flow, I come down to my EFIS. I set it up as to how I like it for the departure and for en route. Then I check my oxygen as well. I come along over my displays here. I want to check and make sure that these lights function as well, make sure that the auto brake is set for RTO, and then further down I want to check and make sure that the fuel flow is indicating 0 for our flight. I check that the flaps are up, the stab trim is in, and then I come down and I do my scans down here, which includes setting up the radios, setting up the weather radar for how we want it for departure. The transponder will fill in once we get our ATC clearance, and then I want to make sure if we need an ADF or VOR up for a departure, that those are programmed in as well. So we're just waiting now for our load information form from the gate agents. Once we have that, we'll do our weight and balance, and that'll give us our performance numbers. We'll enter those in the FMC, and then we'll brief those.
All right, folks, one of our gate agents brought us basically our load instruction form. Basically denotes whether it's a 737NG or a 737 MAX. As a breakdown of the passengers, we basically divide the cabin into 3 for weight and balance purposes. So it has cabin A, B, and C, and it shows the row numbers. So there's no ambiguities there. It shows our cargo. We have 4 cargo holds. The majority of the cargo normally goes in hold 2 and hold 3, which is denoted there. And we have a gender breakdown: males, females, children, and infants. They sign it, they give us a copy, they give us the time, when it is. And on the bottom there, we'll eventually fill it out. It'll be our zero fuel weight, our fuel on board, the actual takeoff weight, our CFG, the runway, which we'll confirm in a moment. Whether this bleeds on or off today, the runways are dry. We're not going to de-ice, so it'll be on. And assumed temperature, we'll explain in just a moment. Flap settings and our V speeds. So as of now, Siobhan and I, we're going to plug that into our EFB here, and it'll give us our performance data. And as well, there's another form too. Sometimes you do get this, not always, but if there's any rush bags or any bags that don't make it on a previous flight for whatever reason, we can take it, and this way at least the passengers will have that. This is also for any extra COMAT, like company materials or anything extra that needs to get from one place to another.
Okay, so as Rich mentioned, once we get our load instruction form, it gives us all our numbers, and then we can go through and input those. So today we are using TC winter weights because of the season, and then I just enter this in exactly as it's written down here. So the amount of males, females, children, and infants are included if they are 10% of our total load. And then further down we enter in the amount of passengers in cabin A, cabin B, cabin C. Moving forward we'll enter in our cargo, and then our total fuel on board, plus our planned trip burn for the route, and our taxi out fuel. So once we enter those numbers, we'll get our total weights down here. We'll compare our weights and make sure that those numbers match and that our performance numbers match as well. So we'll go ahead and put those in. And also something we do once we get our total numbers is we want to make sure that the zero fuel weight and the takeoff weight match our flight planned, or are close to our flight planned weights as well, just to make sure that there isn't something unusual. Like if there was a 2,000 kilogram discrepancy, we might want to look into why that's happening. So I've got my numbers, Rich, if you've got yours.
I do, Siobhan. As of now, let's just confirm what we have here. So, for zero fuel weight, what do you have there, Siobhan, please?
So for zero fuel weight, I have 61281.
I agree, and that's very close to our plan of 61906. So fuel on board is 14,100 kilos.
Yep.
Takeoff weight, what do you have, please?
75131.
75131. Our planned takeoff weight was 75313, so obviously very close. Takeoff C of G.
22.2.
I agree. Now, predicate that off runway 24 right?
Yep, from the hold bay.
That's correct, that's what I have. Bleeds on.
Yes.
What do you have for an assumed temperature?
Assumed temperature 44 degrees.
I agree. Flap setting?
5.
Agreed. And speeds, please.
V1 150.
Agreed.
VR 153.
Agreed.
V2 157.
Agreed, and that is set on the V2 on the MCP panel.
Check.
One of the reasons, folks, when Siobhan mentioned about 2,000 kilos, everything fuel burn-wise is predicated on the weight of the aircraft. So basically, we have a leeway of up to 2,000 kilos above our flight planned, where we don't have to get a new flight plan. If there's anything over that, we officially have to get a new flight plan from our dispatch, because it adversely affects the fuel that's going to be consumed. So we got to make sure that we have the required fuel for the flight. Most of the time, it's never really the case, but it's something we have to be quite vigilant about. Right, Sean, whenever you're ready, go ahead and you can input all those numbers in the FMC, please.
So I'm going to enter a zero fuel weight of 61.3, if you want to confirm that.
Agreed, 75.4, there we go, excellent. Agreed, execute.
Assumed of 44 degrees, which gives us a 90.8 target and 1. Matches what I have in OPT here.
Agreed.
Flaps 5 departure, 22.2 on the C of G, which gives us 5.9 on the trim, and that's close to the trim of 6 here. And our V speeds are 150, 153, and 157. That looks good to you?
It does, Sean, thanks. We'll just wait for one more signature from the ramp supervisor before we can leave. As of now, Sean, that's okay with you. We were pretty much at our 30-minute mark. Let's try to get pre-departure clearance through FMC from area traffic control, please.
Okay, so this is our pre-departure clearance page. So that we don't have to call ATC, what we can do is we can enter all of our information in here, and it'll send our clearance off to ATC, and they'll come back saying, yes, it's good, or no, we don't have it, and you have to manually call in on the radio and get it. So on this page, I've entered our flight number, Sunwing 410, aircraft type, 737. Original station is CYYZ. We're at gate Charlie 41. Our ATIS identifier is Quebec, and our destination station is MDPP. So we'll set off for this, and it'll come back very shortly and let us know. So here's our clearance from ATC. It came back, and I'll just go over it with Rich, and we'll make sure that what's programmed in the FMC matches what they've given us. So Sunwing 410, squawk code of 0505. We're 7:38, planned departure time 11:15 Zulu, flight level 350. So it's Rigus 2.
That checks.
Papa Sierra Bravo.
Check.
Juliet 61. Oscar Tango Tango. Juliet 61 Eddies.
That checks.
Juliet 174 Dixon.
Check.
Alpha Romeo 23 Panau.
Check.
Alpha Romeo 3 Carp X.
Check.
Yankee 307 New Car.
Check.
Filed route. U Sid Rigus 2 departure runway 24 right, which we planned for. And we'll call clearance with our identifier 241 Lima.
Okay, Sharon, I wrote down the particulars there. Everything checks. And whenever you're ready, we can call that confirmation in, please. There you go.
Clearance, good morning, Sunwing 410, gate Charlie 41, information Quebec, PDC 241 Lima.
Sunwing calling clearance.
Sunwing 410, PDC 241 Lima with information Quebec.
410 clearance, feedback correct, April 122, 27, good day.
Ready, Sunwing 410, good day.
Sean, thanks. So you set the squawk there. We have 5,000 feet. We're all set. Looks like they're disconnecting the ground power unit right now, just on our own power here on APU. Boarding is still in progress. All we have left to do now is do our official takeoff brief, if you're ready for that.
Sure, I'll just need 1 second here, and I'm going to program in the speeds for the climb.
Of course.
So I've entered in 218, which is our up speed below 3,000 feet, and then we'll go up to 250 knots after that. Confirm.
Execute, please. Thank you.
And with that, I'll take LNAV and VNAV if possible.
They are both armed.
Okay, so I'll give you a briefing if you want. So our threats for today, there's not really much. The weather's clear. We don't have to worry about any slippery conditions or precipitation today, so there's not really much. And I'll go over the features card if you're okay with that.
Yep. There you go.
So we're in Charlie Golf Kilo Victor uniform today. Split scimitar winglets, Rockwell A cars. It's a 26K short field performance aircraft. We have the full face mask for the oxygen. Standard wind limitations today, it shouldn't be an issue. The wind is quite light. VNAV Army on the ground is approved. V1 auto callouts looks like they're not enabled. Auto thrust reduction is enabled. We have service control position system display, which actually is not installed. Oil quantity for today, minimum at home is 16, which we have. Takeoff config cabin altitude lights are installed. Approach category is category C. Glide slope's inhibited prior to LOC. Vertical situation display is available, or it might not be available.
That's confirmed not available on this aircraft.
We have NPS on the PFD, Toga to LNAV installed for the go-around, auto land is fail passive. We have all the callouts today, multi-scan weather radar, and steel brakes.
Okay.
So where we're sitting today at Charlie 41, when we call for pushback, it'll most likely be pushback maybe tail east onto lane 5. We'll exit out via lane 5, out at Alpha Kilo. And once we come to Alpha Kilo, we're going to taxi southbound on Bravo, most likely to Charlie, and then Charlie to hold short of 24 right. Off of 24 right, we have an assumed temperature of 44 degrees. There's no D-rate selected. We're targeting a 90.8 N1 today. It makes sense for our configuration.
Great.
It's a flaps 5 departure.
On the flight deck, test.
I can hear, sir, 5x5.
Perfect.
2.
And our V speeds are 150, 153, 157. So I'll go over our departure today if you want to verify that in the FMC.
Check, I will.
So we're planned on the Rigus 2 off of 24 right. It's 10-3 kilo, 18th of May 2018. Transition altitude is flight level, 18,000. Safe altitude within 100 nautical miles is 4,900 feet. This is for jet aircraft only. And off of 24 right, unless otherwise assigned by ATC, we're going to climb heading 237 to 1,000 feet, then a climbing left turn heading 235 or as assigned. We'll expect radar vectors to Murno. After Murno, it's Dewsum, Rigus, Mickey, and Papa Sierra Bravo. We're good up to 5,000 feet today, that's our clearance. And we'll eventually be going up to, we're good up to 350 right away. Eventually we will be climbing up to 370. And in the event of a malfunction prior to V1.
I would call reject. If reject on the simultaneously retard thrust recital, disconnect our ATS, throttle, ensure max braking, raise the speed brake, max thrust to complete stop. We'll consider setting the parker brake. We'll do a P8 to remain seated, and we'll assess the situation.
I'll note the reject speed. I'll confirm that the thrust levers are closed, auto throttle is disengaged. I'll ensure that maximum braking is being applied. I'll call speed brakes up, reverse as normal as I see it. I'll call 60 knots, I'll contact ATC, and I'll stand by for further instruction. Engine out procedure today at 1640 engine out acceleration height. We're going to continue on this heading 237. And we have our lights installed today for takeoff config cabin altitude, so we don't need to do that briefing. Any other questions or anything to add, Rich?
No, Sean, I guess everything is dry, so obviously no engine anti-ice. That's been taken care of within our performance. And it is VFR, so no issues for that for any emergencies, but we consider 3,100 feet sector altitude the highest within Toronto. That's okay with you?
Okay, yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Very good. I have no questions. Thank you. All right, folks. So now Sean has completed the briefing. I'm satisfied with it. Everything is good. The ramp supervisor just signed to make sure that the numbers that we were given by the gauge are indeed what they have in the hold. So that being said, now there's 3 copies. We're going to keep 2 of them. I'll give 1 to the ground agent, just so there's a record of everything anytime our aircraft will leave a gate. Looking back, it looks like most people are on board, so I'll be doing a greeting PA to them very shortly. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For Flight Takeoff speaking. On behalf of the rest of the crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard Sunwing Airlines Flight 410, shortly departing for Puerto Plata. All the doors are closed, folks. Pushback very shortly, nice and early. Be a short taxi along to runway 24 which is just besides Highway 401. Once we do get airborne, it'll be approximately 4 hours and 8 minutes at an initial cruise altitude 35,000 feet. I'm expecting a very smooth flight, but I do ask you anytime the seatbelt sign is on, please respect that. Of course, any instructions that our cabin crew may give you. As of now, the weather in Puerto Plata quite nice. I expect to be fairly clear, light winds, presently 23 degrees with a forecast high of 28. One thing the Toronto airport does have, folks, there's a good neighbors noise abatement policy here. We can push out early. Hopefully we'll get near the front of the line, but no jets are allowed to take off until 6:30 in the morning. So it'll take us about at least 15 minutes to get there, but we have to wait a few minutes holding short before we are allowed to take off. Right, sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, and we'll talk to you once we get into the cruise portion of our flight. Thank you. Let's get a pre-flight checklist, please.
Okay, pre-flight checklist, oxygen.
Please. Oxygen tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Navigation, transfer, and display switches are normal, auto. Window heat, on. Pressurization mode, selector, auto. Flight instruments.
Heading at 295, altimeter 3003 inches.
Heading 295, altimeter 3003 inches. Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
Siobhan, they're all set downstairs. Push and start, please, for start checklist.
Before start checklist, flight deck door.
Closed and locked.
Fuel, 14,000 kilograms.
That is confirmed.
Pumps are on. Passenger signs on. Doors and windows.
Apron Endeavor.
Closed and locked.
508 Bravo.
Closed and locked. MCP.
V2 of 157, heading 237, altitude 5,000 feet.
Takeoff speeds, V1 150, VR 153, V2 157.
V1 150, VR 153, V2 157.
CDU pre-flights completed, radar aileron trim.
0.
Taxi and takeoff briefing completed, anti-collision light is on, before start checklist complete.
Push and start, please.
Want to put our name in the hat for a push. Just gotta wait for this other plate push. I guess they start the engine at the gate, so just put our name in the hat once they push. Then I guess they push. Yeah, okay. Denver 5508. I'll get you going when I can.
Apron, good morning. Sunwing 410, gate Charlie 41. Request pushback and start up.
Sunwing 410, tail east on 5. Call taxi. Confirm for you got new runway.
Okay, tail east on 5. We'll call you back for taxi and we'll call clearance Sunwing 410. Okay, so he's advised us that we do have a runway change, so I'm going to put clearance on here and I'll give him a call.
You know what, let's just call him now, right now, just so there's less distraction, if you don't mind, please.
Sunwing 410, clearance for runway 23, Rigus 2 departure, balance on change.
Okay, runway 23, Rigus 2, rest on change, Sunwing 410.
Sunwing 410, clearance Rebecca, contact Apron, have a good morning.
Over to Sunwing 410.
Yeah, folks, so now we've got a runway change. It's actually going to have us depart on the north field, runway 23. So we're just going to quickly plug that into our computers here, and we'll be on our way. Runway 23. And just to confirm, it is the Rigus 2. So that's all set there.
Execute.
Cute. Takeoff speeds lead, and that's normal. And we'll replug in the new speeds. So we continue.
Okay, so assume to 48 degrees.
I agree.
V1 155, VR 157, V2 161.
All agreed.
Flaps 5 departure.
Agreed.
Acceleration height 1810.
I disagreed. So.
Trim should be around 6.
Agreed. 6 or 7.
The 48 degrees gives us a target N1 of 89.7, and that matches.
That's correct. All right. You all set?
Yep, that's all been entered, so I'll call Apron and request pushback again.
Sure, just to confirm, thanks.
Apron, Sunwing 410.
Sunwing 410, Apron.
Sunwing 410, just want to confirm we're still clear to push back.
Affirmative.
Sunwing 410.
Flight to go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just confirm, you ready for brake release, please?
Go ahead, ready for break, please.
Brakes release, clear to push, tail east, lane 5, please.
Copy that. Come at the pushback.
Check the queue.
All advised when ready to start engine.
Standing by, thank you.
Denver 5535, gonna be left on. You're clear on 2.
Starting engine 2, thank you. Schwann, start engine 2, please.
Hey, you guys up?
Okay, folks, now I'm just waiting for the parameters of the engine to be where I need it. Right now, of interest, the fuel, you can see the fuel flow here. We have light off, it's going through 200 degrees right here. Then 2, which is the inside of the engine, and the N1, that's basically the fan that you see up front, is spinning right now. Once we get to 56% of the N2, you'll hear a click, and the start valve open light will turn off. There we go, and Schwann will say...
Start
You're on the flight, just to let you know, we're gonna pull you up. You look a little too close to the wall.
Very good. Just want to confirm we're clear to start engine number 1.
Yeah, go ahead for 1.
Starting 1, thank you. Schwann, start engine 1, please. So folks, you can see the start valve is open to confirm. N2 in the middle of the engine is spinning right now. There's no turning of the N1 as of now till air gets through. Once I get 25% of that, and now I do have rotation there, and we have oil pressure. Now I can introduce fuel.
Never 5535,
Looking for light off within 10 seconds, which we have, and I'll keep my hand here just in case we do have an abnormal start, in which case I can shut the fuel and secure the engine.
Okay, ground, the flight deck coming.
Go ahead, sir.
Pushback is complete. Could you set your brakes?
Parker, set, sir. You may disconnect visual signals. Good morning. So now, folks, you can get that, Sean.
Off one.
Sure.
Back on one, cabin secure.
No change, folks. That ding there was the cabin safety manager telling us that the cabin is secure for takeoff. Right now, Siobhan has done all her checks on top, excuse me. She's turned off her auxiliary power unit, and she's got her hand on the flap lever as our standard operating procedures in anticipation that I'll call the flaps, in which case I will only do that once I do get visual confirmation that all the ground crew are away from the aircraft. As of now, I've got indication from one of the crew members with crossed wands that I can't move. I do see a tug and a tow bar. And the last visual confirmation I need now is
There's a bypass
pin.
pin.
In which case, the hold horizontally, we give them the thumbs up. We know now they're clear. That being said, Siobhan, flaps 5, please.
Flaps 5 confirmed.
It's checked. And now we've confirmed it based on what we talked about, and it's on the FMC. So now, as the flaps are going down, you can see here, they're going to go to flaps 5. We're going to do a flight control check and check all our flight controls. So, either on left, either on right. Coming back. It's the elevator all the way up. There's a neutral position. Elevator full down, neutral position. And I will check the rudder and just make sure I don't put any strain on the nose gear. I'm just going to hold the tiller straight and then check the rudder to the left, nice and gently, all the way to the stop. Neutral position. And then back all the way to the right, neutral position. And that checks. There's no abnormalities that I felt. And now we'll check a recall. That shows that in case we missed anything or anything that's wrong.
Apron, Sunwing 410, request taxi.
Sunwing 410 over to lane 6, right Alpha Kilo.
Lane 6, hold short Alpha Kilo, Sunwing 410.
And you know what, just very quickly before taxi checklist, please.
For taxi checklist, generators on, probe heat on, anti-ice off, isolation valve auto, engine start switches continuous, recall checked, auto brake RTO, engine start levers
LD10
flight controls
checked,
flap levers set, ground equipment clear. For taxi checklist complete.
Apron water ski.
Going to go off to the left here, and we'll turn off our taxi on after we transit behind our
N2 short off, Tango 4232.
Check.
Endeavour 5508, ready to taxi. Endeavour 5508, following the 145, lane 2, hold short Alpha Tango.
Thank you.
On the 145, lane 2, short Alpha Tango, Endeavour 5508.
Apron, Encore 3514, ready to taxi.
Encore 3514, hold short Alpha Golf, ground 2165.
Local ground Alpha Golf, Encore 3514.
Motor ski 4232, 2165.
Clear on the right.
Check, Q, clear left.
Sunwing 410 at Alpha Kilo, 2165.
At Alpha Kilo 2165, Sunwing 410.
Endeavour 5535, taxi. Endeavour 5535, follow company RJ over to lane 2, hold short Alpha Tango.
Endeavour 5535, follow company over lane 2, short of Alpha Tango.
Endeavour 5508, ground 2165.
2165. Hold short November. Taxi Alpha, hold short November, we have Sierra Encore 351.
Air Canada 382, contact ground 12 on decimal 9.
219, Air Canada 382.
Ground, good morning, Sunwing 410, approaching Alpha Kilo.
Sunwing 410, turn on ground runway 23, information Tango, altimeter 3002, taxi Alpha Hotel.
Taxi Alpha Hotel, Sunwing 410.
Endeavour 5508 Alpha Tango.
3002 set.
3002 set my side.
Endeavour 5508 on the ground, runway 23, information is Tango, altimeter 3002. Taxi via Alpha and Hotel. Alpha Hotel, Endeavour 5508.
All right, folks, right now we're on taxiway Alpha here. Air traffic controller just said we're number 8 for takeoff. As of now, the current time is 6:25 in the morning. So as of approximately 6:28, tower should probably allow the first departure. The time is predicated on the wheels up of 6:30. On average, it takes about 2 minutes for an aircraft to get going. So if we're number 8, by the time we do get going, we should be probably airborne approximately quarter to 7 o'clock in the morning. As of now, we're also checking, make sure fuel is okay. We have a minimum brake release fuel that we're allowed to go with, which is the amount of legally required fuel from the time we take off until we land. As of now, there's plenty of margin. We have presently 13,800 kilos. We knew with the extra fuel we had due to the weather today, our brake release fuel is 13,100 kilos. On average, this airplane will burn between 600 and 700 kilos an hour, so we have well over an hour of fuel. So nothing that we have to worry about. Before takeoff checklist, please.
Before takeoff checklist, flaps.
Takeoff runway 23.
Takeoff
23, air shuttle 62127. United 1769, line up
Five,
runway
right.
23.
Stabilizer trim.
5.9 units.
American 258,
Takeoff checklist.
contact 1288.
Thank you.
1288, you have a good day, American. Speak with you. Good. Endeavour 5508, clear takeoff runway 23. Clear takeoff 23, Endeavour 5508. Endeavour 5535, line up runway 23.
Endeavour 5535, 23, line up Boeing.
Line rescue 4232, contact departure 128 Deplane.
4232, good morning.
All right. Endeavour 5535, clear takeoff runway 23.
Endeavour 5535, 23, clear for takeoff.
Sunwing 410, line up runway 23.
Line up 23, Sunwing 410.
Endeavour 5508, contact 128 Deplane.
28, Endeavour. Strong, one really on the left, clear left.
Clear on the right.
That's right.
Sunwing 410, clear takeoff runway 23.
Clear takeoff runway 23, Sunwing 410.
Sean, you have control.
Endeavour 5535,
I have control,
contact
takeoff.
departure 128 Deplane.
Runway 23 verified.
Air Canada 2335, line up runway 23.
Line up and wait on 23, Air Canada 2335.
And 1 heading select Toga.
Thrust set. Knots.
Check.
B1, rotate. Buzzer rate.
Gear up. LNAV.
Check.
Canada 2335, clear takeoff runway 23.
Clear takeoff 23, Air Canada 2335.
Enough speed.
Runway 304, line up runway 23.
Set heading 245.
Sunwing, line up, 23.
Sunwing 410, contact 1288.
Up to this lane, Sunwing 410.
And 1.
Check. Just gonna give you engine anti-ice.
Thanks.
Engine anti-ice is on.
Check. Flaps 1.
Course 3514, contact 12 center, 124902. 124902 on course 3514. Endeavor 5535, turn left heading at 090. We'll have Rickham for you next.
Alright, left turn 090, and we'll expect Rickham, Endeavor 5535.
Gotcha.
Arch, good morning, Sunwing 410, 2000 air, climbing 5000, off runway 23, Rigas 2.
Sunwing 410, total departure, identified, climb 15,000.
Climb 15,000, Sunwing 410.
Set 15000.
15,000 feet set.
Departure Canada 2335, with you through 2,700 for 5,000. For Canada 2335, total departure, identified, climb 7,000. 37,000, Air Canada
After takeoff,
2335. Sunwing 410, turn left to Dewsum on course.
Left turn direct Dewsum on course, Sunwing 410.
Direct Dewsum, please.
Confirm direct Dewsum to the left.
Contact Toronto Center 13247.
3247, never 55 away.
After takeoff checklist, engine bleeds are on. Packs are auto. Landing gear up and off. Flaps up, no lights. After takeoff checklist complete.
Check.
Endeavor 5535, proceed direct to Rickham on course.
Direct Rickham on course, Endeavor 5535, couldn't.
Sunwing 410, contact Toronto Center 13247.
13247, Sunwing 410, thank you.
Command Bravo.
Check. 10,000.
Confirm Econ.
Execute, please.
Hello, Toronto, Canada 2335, with you through 12.9 for 15,000.
American 2335, Toronto Center, I'm sorry, Air Canada 2335, Toronto Center, good morning to you. Climb now to flight level 230.
Clear 230, Air Canada 2335.
Toronto, good morning, Sunwing 410, 10,700, climbing 15,000.
Sunwing 410, Toronto Center, good morning to you. Climb now to flight level 23023.
Flight level 230, Sunwing 410.
230 set.
Check.
And Endeavor 5535 with you, 16,000.
Pressurization, everything is good. There wasn't any turbulence in the climb.
35, Toronto Center,
Good
good morning.
seatbelt throttle.
Contact Cleveland Center 120.62.
1,000 feet to level off.
Check. Speed, vertical speed.
Check.
Sunwing, who's that? That was south of 1443.
It was someone else, but we're here too, Southwest 1443.
Okay.
I think that was April 7501 at 280.
It's a 7501 Cleveland Center Rider. Sunwing is 410. 35 is what you want for the final?
Yes, sir. Something 410.
Roger. Oh, climb and maintain. You want 40 or 38? 9, Southwest 912, climb and maintain, follow 400.
Cleveland Giant 588, 390.
Giant 588, Cleveland Center, Roger. Number 1 Sierra Charlie, contact New York Center 132.17.
3217, 421 Sierra Charlie.
Cleveland, Sunwing 682.
Alt acquire.
Level 274, climbing 320.
Check.
Sunwing 682.
Alt hold. Okay, so our threats en route today, the only possible threat would be some isolated CBs just off the east coast of Georgia. We'll mitigate that by remaining in weather, and we'll just keep an eye out.
Thank you. Cleveland Center, Sunwing 682 with you to flight level 323, climbing 360.
Sunwing 682, Cleveland Center, good morning.
Good morning, Sunwing 410, flight level 350.
Sunwing 410, Cleveland Center, good morning.
Sorry, continue.
So as for the features card, the big thing on there is that we have the full face mask for the oxygen masks.
That's correct.
So for viable on-road alternates, just off a little bit off to the west of our course, Washington Dulles, the weather's good there. And then further south, we've got Wilmington, the weather's good there. And then for Florida, we've got Miami, Nassau in the Bahamas, and Grand Turks as well. We'll be crossing near that. The weather's good at all those alternates. If we have a pressurization problem, we're good down to 10,000 feet. There's no MORAs that are higher than 10,000. On-road RMP doesn't need to be set because we're not going to be entering waters today, so it can stay at 2. If we lose an engine, just as an idea, we'll start down towards about maybe 210 at 253 knots, but we'll reevaluate that if it happens. And then that's about it. If there's anything you want to add, or if you have any questions.
No, I think it's going to be quite nice. We're still training to be quite a lot of fuel when we do land. And as of now, it should be nice and smooth for the next little bit. We're listening to Garden number 2. And just to back us up here, I'll get us a HF frequency, and we'll put that in our HF radios. All right, folks, we're here at cruising in altitude 35,000 feet. As of now, Sean has done all the cruise briefs here. What I did do was, as well as some aircraft through our ACAR system here, you can actually recall the weather. This particular aircraft doesn't have that capability, so based on the upper winds at flight level 350 on a flight plan, I did input that into the flight plan here. And that's quite important, at least for our fuel burn, so that we can keep track of it. As of now, the computer showing due to our route arriving at approximately 1544 Zulu. As of now, our scheduled time of arrival is 1520, so a little bit late, and also just with the delays on the takeoff there. Plenty of fuel, 3.6. That will change a little bit as we go based on the wind's temperature, but as of now, well above the minimum fuel that's required, and we know that other than a little bit of weather that should be to the east of us as we get closer to Wilmington, North Carolina, there should be no weather issues all the way to our destination. We did do our checks as well. Now that I'm what's called a pilot monitoring, since Siobhan's pilot flying, I did all my upper checks, make sure everything was fine, that I didn't forget to turn the lights. It can be quite distracting sometimes, you never know if you do. That the fuel pumps are working. The fuel right now is being, even though all 6 of them are on, there's a bit more pressure in the center pumps, so we want to drain the center pumps first, and I can see that there's no change in our tank 1 and 2, so I know that the center fuel is being drained properly. As well, no other lights. I haven't forgotten, of course, the seatbelt sign. Sometimes that can be an issue as well. As of now, we'll leave the lights on as even the standby. We'll leave on the lights as is, and I'll change it. As you can see, the sun is starting to come up very shortly. The aircraft is trimmed out. We're listening as a backup in case we do lose frequency on air traffic control. Sometimes happens time to time. We are listening on the international emergency frequency 121.5, which is known as GUARD as well, and we can also listen to that on both. For the departure, folks, Toronto, where it's situated, obviously it's quite a busy city, and there's a lot of houses that are built up over the years around the airport. So as a good measure, since we do depart early in the morning, there's a compromise between the airport, I guess, and the surrounding folks that no jets are allowed to take off prior to 6:30. There are some exceptions, of course, for medevac humanitarian flights are allowed to do on a case-by-case basis, but all the airlines, your flights departing are predicated on leaving at 6:30. You might, if you leave Toronto, be told that your flight's leaving at 6:10 or 6:15, as our flight was this morning. We left a bit early, but what it's predicated on is try to get off the gate and taxi out and get to the runway in a position that hopefully you can minimize the delays for takeoff based on that 6:30 time. So that's what it was. Because we were a little bit delayed, we had a runway change. I didn't want to move the aircraft. There's a lot going on, a lot of distractions that can happen. So I decided to stay. We called our clearance delivery, got a new runway, programmed our computer. So that being said, once we did get to the runway, of course, we were number 8. All the SIDs, the standard instrument departures off Toronto, are predicated on a noise corridor, and they do monitor it. So with all the airplanes, the new airplanes, as the technology improves, they are getting a lot quieter. But we do have to follow a certain track all the time. It's not basically runway heading. Sometimes it is. Today it was runway heading to about 1,100 feet, and it was a slight turn from 237 degrees to 245 degrees due to some other neighborhoods that are just west of the airport. And then we continued that climb out initially to 5,000 feet, and then when the departure controller had us radar identified, as you saw, they cleared us to subsequent higher levels. One other thing is, before we turn as well, we want to get to an altitude of 3,000 feet above ground. Toronto is about 569 feet, so typically at 3,600 feet indicated is when you expect turns off your course, off your SID. Once we did get that, we were above 3,600 feet, you did see air traffic control turn us towards a point which we went to, and we continued along that SID. So now there's a few Toronto controllers. Right now, we are talking to New York Center, and prior to that, Cleveland Center was able to cut the corner a little bit. It's always helpful. It's helpful for fuel, for time, and of course with air traffic control with all the other aircraft in the area. That being said, again, now we're at 350. It's pretty much now a more quieter, statistically safer part of the flight. And as part of our CRM, we were happy with the airplane. Siobhan did our briefing. One of the things now is we'll include the back end. So right now I'm going to call the CSM just to make sure that if the temperature is okay and everything is okay in the cabin. And with that, since I'm doing the radios, I'll ensure that the other pilot is indeed now monitoring the radios in case air traffic control will call us. So with that being said, Siobhan, you have ATC?
I have ATC.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Mara. Oh, it's Vera.
Hi, Liz, it's Rich. I just want to confirm everything's okay in the back.
Yeah, everything's good. Do you guys need anything?
One moment, please. Would you like anything to drink? Yeah? Would you like anything to drink? Coffee? No, we're okay for now. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You have control.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. From the flight deck, this is your first officer speaking. Just to give you a bit of an update, we're currently cruising at 36,000 feet, and we've just crossed over Washington, D.C., and very shortly we'll be passing Richmond, Virginia, and further south we'll be flying over North Carolina. We'll cross over the east shoreline of South Carolina, Florida, the Bahamas. We'll pass over Turks and Caicos, and then we'll begin our descent into Puerto Plata. Current weather in Puerto Plata is showing 22 degrees, clear skies, and light winds. Our ETA is 11:40 local time. That's a little bit behind schedule, but we'll try to make up time en route. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight.
Folks, a little bit about Sunwing Group and Sunwing Airlines. Sunwing as a brand has been around for quite a few years. As an airline, we've been around since 2005. Our first flight was in November of 2005. I had the privilege of starting in the second pilot class in January of 2006, where at the time we had 2 airplanes and 38 pilots, so I was number 37 at the time. Now we have about 18 aircraft, and we have just a little over 430 pilots. There's 18 aircraft that Sunwing have, and with our sister company, TUI, that we have a partnership with, we, in the winter, have to expand. We have a lot more flights, so we bring over some of their aircraft from TUI, from the UK and Germany, and as well as from Prague. And they bring the airplanes over, and then we register them as Canadian registered, and we grow the fleet from 18 to 43, which is where we stand for this season, 2018-2019. And conversely, in the summer, normally our heavy months is from December all the way till the end of April. Now we don't need all those extra airplanes come the summertime. It's still steady flying, but most of the airplanes will return. and then we get the opportunity as pilots to go and reciprocate and fly over to Europe. And we're based in the UK, Amsterdam, and in the Czech Republic, where we fly on behalf of our sister companies and do flying within Europe with their crews. It's quite an opportunity. It's really nice to be able to live out there and see some different things as a Canadian pilot. And as well, some of their pilots do come here, to be fair, to help us out. And they get the chance to see our operation and fly North America, where sometimes those pilots don't get the chance to fly within North America. And conversely, we sometimes may not get the chance to fly in Europe. We've had opportunities at Sunwing to fly from Europe all the way to the Canary Islands, to southern Spain, to Egypt, and Turkey, and Cyprus, as well as Greece. So quite a few things that we get to see. It's quite interesting, and a lot of great experience life-wise and professionally. And as of right now, we are considered the largest vertically integrated company right now. Sunwing is an airline. We pretty much just operate the lift for our passengers that go through Sunwing Vacations. And we're a holiday charter airline, and all the passengers we have are people that have booked a fully inclusive holiday with us. From our base in Toronto, we have a lot of bases around the country. In the wintertime, we'll expand between Montreal, Quebec City, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Vancouver. And from all those bases, we'll go down south. We pretty much cover most of Mexico, the southern destinations, and most of the Caribbean, as well as Panama and Costa Rica, all the way to Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago. So quite diverse flying. We get to see a lot of things, whether it's weather-related issues or mountainous areas or oceanic flights that we get to do. At Sunwing here, we are trying to always be ahead of the game in terms of technology. One of the last NGs that we got off the line from Boeing was just a couple of years ago. So now we've actually got two brand new Maxes that we got last year. We are going to get another 4 Maxes, and pretty much what we're going to do is it's a fleet renewal. So for pretty much for every 737-800 that the lease is up, we'll get a Max to replace that. And it's kind of rare to fly it right now with all the airplanes that we have. Only with 2, it's rare that we do get to see it, but I have done a few flights on it, and most of us do enjoy it, flying it. It's quite an improvement. It's a lot quieter, and the main thing is the fuel savings is quite a difference. So it allows us, especially from the West Coast, with the prevailing winds, to go all the way to the first destinations we can east, and be able to go nonstop back to the West Coast without having to tech stop for fuel due to the high jet streams that we normally have to do in the Dash 800. And a little bit myself, like in terms of for anyone that wants to be a pilot, anyone will probably tell you it's a struggle, but when you get here, folks, I mean, it's a wonderful job. It's such a privilege. For me, when I started flying in 1990. At the time, there wasn't a lot of movement in Canada. I wanted to be a military pilot, but at the time, just couldn't get in. It's quite stringent, as you would expect to get in there. So my next thing was to apply to the flight schools where I was at the time. I ended up flying out of Bonneville Airport, which is just to the east of Toronto Pearson, with a company called Toronto Airways, who have now moved to Oshawa. I got my licenses there, slowly scraped away money. My parents literally had to help me with some of it, and my other jobs I saved up. Slowly got all my licenses, and I actually worked there. One of the things you want to do is, it's all about contacts. So I started working behind the counter at dispatch in the flight school. Made a few hours here and there, and eventually I got to fly the traffic patrol for a radio station here in Toronto. And it was on a Piper Seminole. And for pilots, the best time that you can get, that employers want, at the time anyway, was multi-engine time, multi-engine pilot and command time. At the time, it was quite useful to me. I was able to build up a lot of time. And after that, that led me to a corporate job based in Bonneville and Toronto, where I was able to fly a single pilot, a Baron 58 and a Cessna 414, which then led to 2 years, 1 year, a little over a year as captain on a Citation Jet 525. from there, again, I was able to, with my experience, but also with contacts, able to get a job with a company flying MD-83s. I was there for about 13 months, and unfortunately they went out of business. At the time, out of a job for about a year, but then, as luck would have it, a lot of the trainers that helped me at Jetsco, they pretty much helped start Sunwing operations, the airline operations. And they basically gave me a chance. I was able to apply. I interviewed and was successful with that. And when I started, it was we were small. It was in 2006. We had 2 airplanes. Like I said, I was number 37 out of 38 pilots. And at the time, you take a chance. It's whoever will give you a chance. Not a lot of movement, so we were kind of a newer airline. So a lot of us that at the time didn't have a job. Sunwing was quite a blessing. And from there, we've been just steadily growing. No one really thought, I don't think, that we'd be this big. But now I have the privilege to be training in a check captain here, and fairly senior, and it's nice in terms of lifestyle. Professionally, I get to, for the most part, pick my flights. It's a wonderful job. I've been given a lot of opportunities, but just like anything in life, it's what you put into it that you can get out of it. And as of now, I've been flying for probably over 25 years now, and I think last I checked, I'm probably a little over 15,000 hours. And that's it for me. And then for me, I started maybe a little bit late in life at 20. Right now, I'm like 28 years old. So I'll make that, 48. So I'll make that 28 years. Make that 28 years again after that in terms of flying. So as I say it, it seems kind of crazy to say it. It's been, it was a struggle in the beginning. But after that, you just have a lot of fun. You meet new people, new places. You respect each other. You have fun. You keep the professional bar extremely high. We have to personally, and we have to as a group to keep us safe. As the first danger in any flying with what we do. But at Sunwing here, we're small enough where we consider ourselves even kind of a family. We fly with each other many times. We have good camaraderie with our back end. And it's a wonderful, respectful place to work with. And as of now, it's the way things are going. You hope to retire. No one wants to start again. It's quite an industry where if you can build yourself up, but if something happens to a company, again, you have to start again, unfortunately. The way things are going now, we hope not, but things are looking quite rosy. And with a lot of luck, we can all retire here. It's been a wonderful place. It's a privilege. I love working here. It's wonderful. But for any of you young folks, Siobhan will talk to you in a moment, this is actually a really good time. In a lot of the world, there was a relatively shortage of pilots. It was always prohibitive monetarily to go to flight schools. The more normal thing was to go through the military or come to North America and go to the flight schools, spend a lot of money, be in heavy debt, and go back as a cadet pilot within the airlines there and work your way up. We never saw that. For all my career, we were always told of pilot shortage, but it never came to fruition until the last few years. As of now, really kind of the ball's in the pilot's courts. With expansion, the way the economies are doing, and the airlines, there are so many opportunities now. Now, you don't have to wait as long to get a job. Probably for the next foreseeable future, for anyone who wants to do it, go for it. You have a lot of chance now to be successful, because a lot of airlines are hiring, and you can choose almost where you want to fly, what kind of aircraft that you want, and the rest a little bit is up to luck. But in terms of starting, getting chances early, I'll let Siobhan talk about that, because she said quite a privilege. She's earned it, but she said quite a privilege.
Do you want to? Okay, you have control. You have the radios.
I have radios.
The only changes we're doing 7-9 now.
Thanks, Siobhan.
And I'll pass this back.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, thanks.
No worries.
So I can talk a little bit about my career. So I've been at Sunwing for just over 2 years now. I was really fortunate. Sunwing started a cadet program back in 2016, and that was their first time doing it, and I got to be part of the first class. So I'll talk a little bit about how I developed my passion for aviation. Kind of a funny story, when I was in grade 5, it was my first time ever on an airplane. It happened to be aboard Sunwing Airlines, actually. I was en route to Orlando for a family vacation, and I was just so fascinated by aviation. I couldn't believe that this big metal bird could get in the sky and fly. And so after that, I was hooked. I knew I wanted to do something in aviation. I took my first introductory flight when I was 16. I went up in the Ottawa Flying Club and I did an intro flight, and then that was it. I was so sold on it. So I researched possible aviation programs and decided on the University of Waterloo. So I started there in 2012, and I did a 4-year program in geography and aviation. So when I completed that program, I had my multi-IFR, my IATRA. So yeah, I graduated from the University at Waterloo with my multi-IFR, my IATRA, in about 300 hours. And I was really fortunate in my last year at Waterloo. Sunwing partnered up with the university to offer a cadet program. So they were taking a few individuals from Seneca College and the University of Waterloo right in to get type rated on the 737 and start their careers with them. So I did that in 2016. That was in November, I believe, was my first flight in the airplane. I finished my PPC in September. And my training took it was 4 months of flying with training captains, just to make sure that I was fully certified and safe to fly the airplane. And then it was last year, February of last year, I was released to line where I became a full line pilot here. And I really like it because we get the option to spend our summers in Europe and winters at various bases across Canada. But I just think it's a really great opportunity, and it gives you really valuable experience as a pilot because you're flying to such different destinations, and some of them are quite challenging. As Rich mentioned, we've got mountainous terrain, we've got weather to deal with, and it's a really great experience. So I was really fortunate that Sunwing started the cadet program and took me and my fellow colleagues in. My life story is quite a bit shorter than Rich's.
One of the things that we do here in cruise, just to make sure everything is okay, is we do check our fuel. As a company, we check it at a maximum every 60 minutes. We can do as many times as we want in between that, but we normally do it every 60 minutes. And we simply just take a waypoint on our flight plan within that time period. And we just passed a waypoint called New Car here. You can see now we're just to the north. There's West Palm Beach, Florida. There's Nassau, the Bahamas, and all the Bahamian chain here. So we're just cutting the corner now to go towards Puerto Plata. And all we do is just check a point. So what I did was, I didn't put it in the computer, but as we passed it, I checked, and at New Car, the flight plan was saying that we should have been there at a time of 1407 with 6,173 kilos approximately in the tanks. As of now, because of all the shortcuts, when I recorded it, we were actually 5 minutes early. And we have 6,600 kilos in the tanks, which makes that about 430 kilos above. So I wrote that down so you can keep track of it. I told Siobhan as well so you can keep track of the progress of the flight. And there'll be at least one more fuel check that I'll do before landing, just to make sure that we are indeed not losing any fuel at any point.
Very good. Morning, Sunwing 410, flight level 370. Left deviation weather.
Requesting left deviation taken.
So it's only 410 at 370. We're just deviating already. Should be able to go direct C-car within the next 20 miles.
Sunwing 410, minus center rest.
Highway Sunwing 410, clear weather, request direct C-car.
Sunwing 410, clear direct C-car.
Make sure direct C-car, Sunwing 410.
For direct C-car, Siobhan. LNAV avails available. Check.
I guess we can start with the room aerodrome, then they inspect it, and we'll go into that. So
I'm gonna do this and then I'll brief the checklist. How's that? I'll do it now and then I'll
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, you can just do the card if you want. It's totally up to you,
So
right?
I forgot to tell the card. I'll take the
So
card.
if you want, yeah. So
Yeah,
I'd
I'll
probably
take the
start
card.
with the room aerodrome and stuff, and then we can do all that. So.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, I've
Okay, so I'll give a briefing into Puerto Plata
1984.
for the
I'm all
RNAV
set up and ready to
runway
run
08.
anytime.
So looking at the route and aerodrome manual, it outlines our threats for today. The biggest threat is terrain west through the south of the airport, with the highest point reaching almost 2,700 feet. I'm going to mitigate that threat by being in terrain once we're a little bit closer to the airport. Anything else to note? Not much, just mostly the terrain is the biggest threat there. If there's anything else you think of.
No, I agree with that, and we'll also mitigate it by just following the published approach. Kind of think that'll protect us. It'll be VFR anyway, but we'll follow the published approach into there.
Perfect, great. And then I'll take the features card if I could.
Certainly. There you go. You could do both.
So on the features card, I'll just go over what's pertinent to the landing. So approach category is Charlie, glide slope is not matter today. Toga LNAV is installed for the go around. We have lots of callouts and steel brakes. And then on the other side of that, we have a checklist or a procedure that we follow at Sunwing just to set up the FMC for RNAV approaches. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Or do you want to do it while I read it out?
Certainly, sure,
Okay.
sure.
So we're going to go to the nav status page and ensure that GPS updating is on.
So nav status, there's 2 pages there. Of course, our GPS update's on, that's good there.
We'll set the lateral RMP to 0.3.
It's decimal 3 now for the approach, and that is set.
And then if there's vertical RMP, it'll be 125 feet.
This aircraft, no.
And we'll set our MDA plus 50 feet, so that'll give us 710.
That is set on the left.
At least one pilot in terrain mode. I'll go to that now.
Check.
Pilot flying in ND scale of 10 miles or less, no later than the IF, which I will do. And then our performance limits. The aircraft will alert us if we're outside of these, but just keep them in mind, 0.3 and 75 feet.
Sit. Thank you.
So right now we're cleared direct CCAR, and then we're going to the VOR, but I'm anticipating after CCAR, or maybe we can request direct MEVO. For the RNAV 08, that's page 12-1, effective the 13th of September. Final approach course is 083. Minimum altitude check over Keslo, which doubles as the FAF, is 3,000 feet. MDA 660 plus the 50, which we already mentioned, is going to be 710. The MSA is 5,100 feet. Transition level, flight level 180. In case of GNSS failure, we'll climb straight ahead to 4,000 feet and a left turn direct north. We'll contact ATC. So after MEVO, it's Papa 351 at 4,000 feet or above, then Keslo at 3,000 or above, 6 nautical miles at 1980 or above, 4 nautical miles at 1350 or above, and then 2.5 from the threshold, we can anticipate 870 or above. We'll descend down to minimums on a 3-degree descent angle. There's poppies for the runway. And missed approach, we're going to climb on a track of 083 to Papa 355, then a left turn to 356, tracking 340. To Papa 357. We'll turn left on a 253 track to a MEVO, climbing to 4,000 feet in accordance with ATC instructions there. When we touch down on runway 8, I've selected auto brake 3, which is going to give us a landing distance of about 7,500 feet, and that's with the reversers operating, so I will be using them today. We can anticipate exiting at Echo 1. If we miss Echo 1, we are okay to turn around on the runway, but I'm assuming we're going to go to the end and turn around there.
If we miss, okay. We should be okay for Echo 1, but...
Okay, so Echo 1, and then it'll be into the ramp or whatever parking spot we get there.
That's understood.
Looks like poppies are on both sides of the runway here, right and left.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
And landing at a weight of 64.9 with flaps 30 gives us VRF about 146, and we're going to add 5 knots for the headwind correction. If we need to add more, then we will. And that's about it. Anything? Oh, sorry. What are we landing with? Landing with 3.4. That's 1.2 above min div. So we have lots to play with and come around, do another approach if we need to.
Sure.
Anything else to add? Any questions?
What I've done here, just for our situation awareness, Siobhan, I've put in the fixed page here. The first thing we've done here is we put CCAR at 80 miles. A jet normally will traverse 80 miles in 10 minutes, and as a courtesy to the flight information region of Santo Domingo, I'll call that controller on an anticipated frequency of 1.3 to tell them that we will be entering CCAR 10 minutes prior. So at a time of approximately 1514, I will call them on the second radio. The other thing is I put in fixed page to our alternate, Savannah, and there's a runway 07 there. It's over 7,000 feet, and there's an RNAV approach to that. And the weather we checked is VFR as well, so that could be used as an alternate. And with the fuel that we have, we at least have at least one go around and a bit more loitering fuel before we have to decide that we need to go to alternate. So we know the destination is good, the alternate is good. We met our altitude for pressurization there. And what I'll do is, just a courtesy for our cabin crew, we can predicate landing at 1540, so at 1510, 30 minutes prior, I'll advise the cabin crew of our landing. I have nothing else. It's very good.
Okay, let's do a descent checklist then.
Check descent checklist. That was no condition. Pressurization, land altitude 50 feet. Recall.
Checked.
Checked. Auto rate 3. Landing data.
VRF 146, minimum 710 barrow.
VRF 146, minimum 710 barrow. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent check is complete. All right, folks, so Siobhan just completed the briefing. We've done our descent checklist, and basically what we're going to be doing here is we're coming in. Here's the Turks and Caicos Islands over here. There's Provo, and there's Grand Turk. And CCAR, as I mentioned, is the FIR boundary for the Dominican. There's an RNAV star arrival. We're probably not going to do that, but there's a point, gives you an idea where it is in relation to the airport on the north shore of the country there. Most likely what air traffic control normally does is once we do get radar identified at CCAR, they should give us direct to a point here, which is the initial point waypoint called Amivo. And from there, we're pretty much set up, and that's basically on the RNAV arrival. Around the world, this is becoming a lot more prevalent as technology improves. A lot of jet aircraft nowadays have GPS. So you're really assured, for the most part, very accurate position. It costs money to have NDBs or VORs or ILSs, so in a lot of the third world countries, having a published and approved RNAV approach is quite nice, actually, because now you're not dependent on ground-based aids. You're dependent now, of course, on your satellite reception and your internal computers. So basically now, we're going to fly this approach, and it's predicated on the terrain. That's you can see spot heights here of 2,765 feet, which is the highest within this radius of the airport. And we'll go to Amivo, and you can see here it's confirmed here on the computer that after Amivo it's 4,000 feet or above. We can see the altitude there is 4,000 feet. Then it's 4 miles to the initial point, which is called Papa 351. We can see on here, as any pilot or Siobhan was briefing, the other pilot's just going to confirm that what's on the chart is indeed what we do have on the FMC. So that now, with the alpha there, it's basically above. We never want to be below any of these published heights, which you can see here. Kelso is our final approach fix. That's 3,000 feet. We can see it there. And then there's 6 miles, 4 miles, and 2.5 miles. That gives us altitudes of 1980, 1350, and 870. And then, of course, the runway. Beyond that, there's a depiction here as well. And graphical, and also just a worded description on a missed approach if we do say the weather was inclement, of course, or if we didn't want to land and we decided to go around. And everything is in there, and it's actually even depicted along here. We can actually follow it within our screens, what's called a plan mode. It actually shows Santiago right there, just south, and it actually shows all your points along the arrival, and I can step through as I wish, and whichever the center is obviously centered with north to the top of the screen. And you can change it so that it's legible, and you can indeed see, it kind of matches, really actually matches what we have here. And this way we know, at least, we're all on the same page. What we are planning to do is indeed what we've programmed in the computer. In this approach, we can fly with the autopilot up until just before landing in a mode called VNAV. And the VNAV path will, because of all those speeds and altitudes are protected in there, we will let the aircraft fly it, and of course all we do is select the flaps and the gear to slow it down as we so feel like. And that's about it. And we got about another 6 minutes here, and then I'll eventually advise the cabin crew of our landing time. Sorry. Once we do land, what we did was we have a program that allows us to put in the parameters. An airport, a runway gradient, whether it's dry, wet, or slippery, the winds, temperatures, and the altimeter settings. We can put a reverser or no reverser or flap settings. The 737-800 typically lands at normally flaps 30 or flaps 40. Runway is long enough and dry enough, so we'll do a flaps 30 landing. Obviously no engine anti-ice, and it gives us the brake settings. We have basically 4 usable brake settings here. And normally with this we'll use a brake setting of 3, which shows us about 7,500 feet. And just below that you see the landing distance available at 10,108 based on a landing weight of 64,900 kilos. And our max landing weight would be 66,360. Now if I change and go back to the taxi chart, you can see now there's the airport layout. It gives us an elevation at the top left. We make sure that the chart is the same and the up-to-date one. It changes periodically. It has notes on there, and as well it gives us a depiction of how long the runway is, how wide it is on the bottom there. There's 151 feet, and of course it shows that the PAPI, the Precision Approach Path Indicator, is 3 degrees, and it's on both sides of the runway. It's kind of rare. Most of the times you'll see it on the left side. So it shows the exits. We are planning an exit of Echo 1. It's a very simple taxi. Along that taxi into the terminal. And as they get closer to the airport, I'll call the guard operations and tell them of our arrival. And they'll most likely at that time give us our assigned gate. And that's about it. So most airports, that's what we do. Every airport you go around the world, you can brief. It shows all the approaches that you can do, and it shows the airport layout, so that really you have a picture before you get there. Flying an airplane, any pilot, no matter what airplane, you always want to be thinking ahead of the aircraft. You want to be thinking very close, so to speak. You want to be thinking miles and minutes ahead, so that there's no surprises. And it's a safer way to think, and it tends to be a lot smoother.
JetBlue 636 Miami. Yes, sir, go ahead. JetBlue 636, clear direct Lindholm, climb and maintain flight level 300. When able, direct Lindholm at 300, altitude Mach number.
That's South Takeoff, but that's Providenciales in the Grand Trip. Hard to see there.
November 842 Echo Bravo, radar contact lost, report Dredden Agua.
Sunwing 410, request descent, please.
Sunwing 410.
Affirm, sir.
Sunwing 410, descend and maintain flight level 130.
Descend maintain flight level 130, Sunwing 410, thank you.
30 set.
American 967 Miami Center, good morning.
Retard.
Check. He said flight level 130 because of San Juan, but we know transition is going to be
Okay, I was just going to say...
flight level 180.
Okay.
MOP ATC.
IBTC. Temp speed.
Check.
I just changed it over back into Mach numbers so we can work with this.
Very good, thanks. We'll just catch the path and that'll be fine.
Sunwing 410, contact Santo Domingo Center 124.3, good day.
124.3, good day, sir, Sunwing 410. Center Bingo, Sunwing 410, released by Miami, passing flight level 244 for 13,000.
Sunwing 410, Santo Domingo, roger. Radar can set over Seeker, clear for Seeker 10, arrival at Puerto Plata.
Thanks, sir. Seeker 10, arrival Puerto Plata, Sunwing 410.
JetBlue 510, contact Miami Center 12645, good day, sir.
2645, JetBlue 510. Santo Domingo, UPS 402.
UPS photo 2, Domingo Center, go ahead.
So QNH, please.
Julie,
QNH set.
131, we're flight level 350, we got clearance across. Julia, 2-9 show.
UPS photo 2, Domingo Roger, radar cancelled after Julie. Proceed direct to Binro and plan for the RNAV Genesis approach runway 35 Los Americas, QNH 3009.
Just because the controller wasn't clear on descent, I'm going to ask if we're cleared to descend via
Victor
the star.
India, November, Romeo Oscar.
Okay, we'd like to request the horn at the 17.
Roger, we have a request.
San Domingo, Sunwing 410.
Sunwing 410, go ahead.
Sorry, maybe confirm that we cleared to descend via the 10, please.
Sunwing 410 over Seeker, clear for Seeker 10 arrival.
Thanks, sir. To descend via the Seeker 10 arrival, Sunwing 410.
Go ahead and descend on profile.
Thank you, sir. Sunwing 410.
Sometimes their verbiage out here, the way they say it so exactly, so
9,000 set.
check.
Sunwing 410 over Amivo, clear for the RNAV Genesis approach runway 35.
Over Mivo, cleared RNAV Genus approach, runway 08, Sunwing 410.
Runway 08.
Thanks, sir.
Approach echo solid turners.
3010 inches.
3010 inches, approach echo is complete.
Check. Flaps 1.
Check.
Santa Domingo, JetBlue.
FMC speed.
3.
Check.
JetBlue 773, Domingo Center, good morning, go ahead.
Good morning. We'll be over Poke at 1541 at flight level 370, squawking 2362.
3,000 feet set.
Domingo Roger, radar cancelled.
Check.
Focus,
Lobster 1.
direct to paddocks.
Mr. Poke, direct Barracks, JetBlue 773, thank you.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Check. And after 3,000, I can set minimums, or should I set
Yeah,
that?
you can, I don't mind minimums.
Okay.
Blue visual. We'll keep track. Thanks.
UPS 402, descend to 16,000 feet, QNH 30, decimal 09.
16,000 feet, 3009, or UPS 402. And you do have a request for RNAV to 17, is that correct, 402?
Hey, we do have your request. We talk to the tower, then let us know.
Okay.
1,000 feet level off, approaching glide path.
800 feet set.
Check.
Gear down.
2,500.
Flap 15.
Check. Flap 15.
Check.
Scott Kelso at 3030.
Check.
For 15,000 on the runway heading.
Flap 25.
W848, San Romeo Control, radar contact left, level 340, continue the heading. Can you climb to level 340, continue the heading?
Flaps 30.
And Domingo, JetBlue 2137 over NSX. JetBlue 2137, San Romeo Control, radar contact, fly direct output.
And I can set the mist, right?
Set that down.
Okay, mist approach altitude 4,000 feet is set. Landing check.
410, should we switch to town? Going 410, contact Puerto Plata Tower 18.0.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist, engine start switches.
Continuous.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
30 green light.
Landing check is complete.
Summit 40, establish our runway 08. Runway 410, Plata right heading track runner 08. Clear to land, wind 410 knots, PNH 30.0 main. 23009, to runway 08, Summit 40.
3009 set.
Check slight right crosswind. Clear to land, Siobhan.
Check. Manual flight.
Check.
$1,000.
Stable.
Check.
Approaching minimums.
Check.
Minimums.
Landing.
Check.
Correcting speed.
Check.
$500.
Check.
$400. $300.
Correcting speed.
Check.
$200. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Speed brake up. Reverse normal.
Manual braking.
Auto brakes disarm. $60 knots. I have control.
You have control.
Thank you.
Runway 410, the Echo 1 stand Alpha 5 remain on this frequency. Welcome to Puerto Plata.
Echo 1 Alpha 5, Sunwing 410, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll do a slow taxi, and you can do your flows. Thank you.
4,000 set.
Sure.
That's Tomato, UPS 402, departing flight level 350 UPS 402, roger.
Flaps 1.
Check.
Santa Domingo, JetBlue.
FMC speed.
3.
Check.
Blue 773, Domingo Center, good morning, go ahead.
Good morning. We'll be over Poke at 1541 at flight level 370, squawking 2362.
3,000 feet set.
Roger, radar canceled.
Lobster 1.
Direct to paddle.
Mr. Poke, direct.
UPS 402, descend to 16,000 feet, QNH 30.09.
16,000 feet, 3009, UPS 402. And you do have a request for RNAV 17, is that correct, 402?
Hey, we do have your request. We talk to the tower, then let us know.
Okay.
1,000 speed level off, approaching glide path.
800 feet set.
Check.
Gear down.
2,500.
Flap 15.
Check. Flap 15.
Check.
Stop Kelso at 3,030.
Check.
This is the 15,000 on the runway heading.
Flap 25.
W848, San Romeo Control, radar contact left, level 340, continue the heading.
Can you climb to flight level 340, continue the heading?
Flaps 30.
Yeah, Domingo, JetBlue 21, 37 over NSX. JetBlue
JetBlue 2137, San Antonio Control, radar contact, fly direct output.
And I can set the mist, right?
Set that down.
Okay, mist approach altitude 4,000 feet is set. Landing check.
410, should we switch to town? Sunwing 410, contact Puerto Plata Tower 18, decimal 0.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist, engine start switches.
Continuous.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
30 green light.
Landing check is complete.
Via Sunwing 410, establish our runway 08. Runway 410, Propulsor rotating track, runway 08. Clear to land, wind 10 knots, TNH 30.0, main.
283.009, to runway 08, Sunwing 410,
3009 set.
Check slight right crosswind. Clear to land. Shut off.
Check. Manual flight.
Check.
One thousand.
Stable.
Check.
Approaching minimums.
Check.
Minimums.
Landing.
Check.
Correcting speed.
Check.
$500.
Check.
$400. $300.
Correcting speed.
Check.
200. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brake up. Reverse to normal.
Manual braking.
Auto brakes disarm. $60 knots. I have control.
You have control.
Thank you.
Runway 410, the Echo 1 stand Alpha 5, remain on this frequency. Welcome to Puerto Plata.
Echo 1 Alpha 5, Sunwing 410, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll do a slow taxi, and you can do your flows. Thank you. Taxi off, please, Siobhan. Q.
APU's on the bus.
Checking the Q. All right, let's approach the gate. Flaps are up. Brake pressure is good. Flaps, strobes. It's good. Okay, Siobhan, parker brake set. There we go. Those are 3 minutes for engine cooling. We have 2 blues. So there you go, folks. That was the first leg. Flight 410 from Toronto to Puerto Plata, where it's now. It's about 27 degrees. It looks like we did it in 4 hours, so with the little shortcuts with ATC's help, we shaved off 8 minutes. To give you an idea, we left with 14,000 kilos of fuel, and we have 3,400 kilos in the tanks. So quite a bit of fuel that an airplane will burn, quite an expense, but considering how many people you can move, it is quite efficient. Right now, we're in the process. They're bringing the gate right now. We're going to deplane. The usual stuff. Once everyone's off, we'll regroom the airplane, clean it up. They'll do our security checks, take the bags off, put the other ones on, and then I will be flying us back on Flight 411 from Puerto Plata here to Toronto, and I'll begin my setup. And next time I talk to you, I'll be showing you what I'll be doing on that. And of course, you can see, folks, Siobhan did a great job. Even though it's clear, there's a lot of turbulence that happens with the topography around here in Puerto Plata, with the trees and with the terrain. As you get closer in, there's always a crosswind, and the winds are going right across the runway from right to left, in which case you saw that. So she handled it really well. I mean, you got to be on a jet, and she did a good job. It's the challenges of the day. It's what we do for a living. It was a great landing.